Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Sour Graps Tuesday show, post Christmas edition. I'm Alex, this is Kate, and Kate used to do a thing where she would interrupt me and then finish out the
I
intro.
would go ahead and tell you this is the NXT Sour Grabs post show for Tuesday, December 26th. They'll tell you the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was making you think he didn't exist. But the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was making us come to work the day after Christmas, NXT being the only live WWE show this week. So rude of them to do. We're having fun though. Guys, get in your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com. We get to keep, I was going to say a little bit more of the money, but like it's a lot. It's a lot more of the money. So if you could go to humperchats.com, that would be super dope. You can also head over to fightfulselect.com for the best, the most scoops in the game. Brought to you by Sean Ross Sapp and Corey Brennan, who, if you are following the NXT product, has been giving us a lot of NXT scoops over there. Yeah. You'll also get extremely serious shows like Alex and I always do behind the paywall for every pay-per-view that we don't do on the main, essentially, which is pretty much everything but NXT. So you get a little bit of an alternative view over there, as well as a bunch of other bonus podcasts, all the scoops, and Sean's Q&A, which I always put over because it's one of the most valuable things I think this whole darn industry has to offer. But Alex, we return to NXT and NXT true form. Yes, Andrew Zarian, I'll be at World's End. Sorry, saw it in the chat. Andrew Zarian at the MSG House Show tonight, which I'm guessing probably better than this episode. I'll be there.
I mean, it featured a Cody bull rope match, so
it did.
Like, right?
Do you think he faced adversity?
I think you finished the story of the bull rope.
Whoa!
So this was live in that it was broadcast and there was new footage not yet seen on TV. However, it was also a taped episode.
It was indeed.
And as such, it was fairly standard fare.
It
was. Some major plot developments though, like an original act of NXT 2.0 since the beginning now has broken up for absolutely no reason, and just like all of the things that have happened since the 2.0 crossover, including a 2.0 into like a 2.1, like everything has happened.
The Russian judge gave it a 2.1 as well.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's also everything happens for no reason. But we'll talk about it. It's a very, very sad day for somebody, I'm sure, but not for me because I don't freaking care. But
there were a lot of stakes on tonight's episode, which I always give them credit for, because there were never stakes in the 2.0 era, but we got semifinals, Heritage Cup. Like, there was some good development here. So,
yeah.
I always try and give props for that.
See, this thing, they were selling on the clearance rack today. How could I not? Half off. Gotta get it. This is going to be a staple next year.
Alex, you know what I always say?
Yeah.
Half off, hats on.
There you go.
I always say that.
So, we'll start out with this. Orion Ben says, "Welcome to a special Ricky Rainbow Xmas where he'll give out the Rickies for NXT." I will, or he will. I don't know if he was aware of that. Maybe he'll do that. A year-end award at New Year's Evil. Maybe there'll be the Rickies will be next year. So tune into the Rickies next year at New Year's Evil, and we'll see if he actually does that, or if I remember to remind him that he was supposed to do that. Maybe if I will remind him sometime mid-Tuesday afternoon next week. Kate is really bad at reminding me about stuff as well.
So
don't ask her to do it.
If the Adderall is worn off, I take no responsibility. However, I will say that maybe should be a Fightful Select feature of the Ricky
maybe should.
Awards.
Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Ellie Cecil will remind us.
There we go. Anyway, it's going to be much better than HBK's awards. LOL. Happy holidays, SGS Society. I guess it was voted on by the fans, although I did not see anything on social media directing me where to vote if I was going to vote, or even who the nominees were besides the people who won. The year-end NXT awards were announced with very little fanfare.
Yeah, they didn't mention the voting on TV, I don't think.
I don't think they did. So, yeah. Anyway, Paul Elizabeth says, I don't know if you know about this, 364 days until the Elizabeth Pringle Christmas. And JB Pringle says, Paul Elizabeth, the entire Pringle clan will be there with bells on.
It only seems right since he's an adopted into our family.
That's very nice.
I cooked this year, so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
I hope you like vegan mac and cheese, JW Pringle.
I am the one who cooks this year. I did not have to because we did not host this year. So
nicely done.
Yeah, we went to my sister-in-law's place. Not the one that I went to for Easter last year that got me sick for like 2 months in a row. This is a different one. This is a different sister's place. And she doesn't know how to cook. And so she ordered Red Lobster. And honestly, bang up job, sis.
Not bad.
Not bad. I'll take the shrimp and the steak. A little bit of lobster. Right. No, I'll take it.
Well done.
Andrew Zarian asked us if we heard that CM Punk is back. Huge if true.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That is brand new information. But catch Andrew Zarian. Listen, Andrew Zarian, who's always great to us and pops up on Fightful Overbooked from time to time. With all this rights renewals deal, everybody's speculating. Everybody's chit-chatting. You know who's going to have that information? Andrew Zarian and Sean Ross Sapp. Stay tuned to us, Andrew Zarian, about things to do with Warner Brothers Discovery. His information is always good on that. He's not like he's just the best. He breaks stuff on the nose. He doesn't break people's noses. He might, but his info.
Pringle says, "If it's eatable, I'll eat it."
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
It was pretty good. I did all right for a first. I'm gonna take on the cooking Christmas.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Bad for Allie Cease, who has COVID. Well, Allie. Get well, Allie. That's terrible. My the other sister-in-law, she has COVID. So
the one who got you sick the first time.
The one who got me sick the first time. Well, didn't really get me sick. We just, I don't know. I got sick while visiting her for Easter, and so now she has COVID. So that's everybody. It's there's one of those, what do you call a surge?
A surge.
So maybe.
A little surge.
Maybe, wait out for that.
Important answer here. First of all, this is one LT photo. Somehow he accidentally got banned for our channel, so this is his new handle.
Lieutenant Colonel photo. He's been promoted.
He's been promoted. Puns are going to be anything country western, cowpoke related in honor of Double Best and the Bead and a horse girl breaking up today.
Yeah. We
hardly knew ye.
Meet Norma says, can the Linder tell me how NXT was tonight? Any matches I should check out? Oh, no.
Give Santa glasses there for a second.
I was going to try and give Santa the glasses. Oh, actually.
It's adorable.
That works pretty well, actually.
It does.
So Meet Normas. You should definitely check out the Obafemi. I love the Obafemi. I think he is a fantastic wrestler.
We love the Obafemi.
How could you not love the Obafemi?
Oh, we love the Obafemi.
Not only does he powerbomb wrestlers in the ring, he shot puts couches in the field. So, like, honestly, he could do both. So how do you not love the Obafemi? Also, the NXT Underground match was pretty good. So you should.
Oh, we love the Dijak. Don't you just love the Dijak?
I believe it's Norwegian. I believe it's Dijak. I believe it's Dijak.
We love the Dijak.
No, don't you love the Dijak? Anyway, and the Eddy Thorpe.
Love the Eddy Thorpe.
The Eddy Thorpe. He's wonderful. You gotta pronounce the last one. Okay.
All right. entire family next week when we get together for our holiday party.
Wonderful.
And all my aunts on the Jersey side are there.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little younger than Linda, I think.
So, Kaza 86 says, looks like my first one didn't go through, but I'm not a WWE fan, they say. Only a fan of you guys. That's why I'm here every week. Kaza, we love you. Thank you so much.
I like you way better than I liked Napster, Kaza. LimeWire has nothing on you.
So we started out with the All or Nothing match, which I thought was a double or nothing match, but I guess it's an all or nothing match. Featuring Chase University. Remember how Andre Chase was rolling them bones in the alleyway without the mud, with the out the mud, and
they seem to just be OTM now.
I guess no. Well, not according to Booker, who
well, we can't trust what that guy says about
Booker
the product he does commentary for.
Call them out the mud. But he also pronounces mud in a very interesting way. He says "out the mud," and I'm like, why is
MEEOUD
out the mud? And I was like, all right, enough of that. But he made a bet with them that if they could beat him, he would somehow get them a title match, and Big Ange happened to be there on her phone. it was turned off, and she was like, "Hello, Tony? Yeah, no, we'll do it." And then anyway, if they beat them, then somehow Out the Mud was going to cover his debt to the mob, because we got some kind of criminal enterprise going on with Out the Mud. I don't want to speculate. We have the Italian mafia, and we have a scam school, which it's basically University of Phoenix, but way worse. and so, which basically is Full Sail University. But
I was just gonna say, where are they?
But there's this weird triangle of bad money moving just all around. And spoiler alert: Andre Chase is because he is now a problem gambler, he is also now a problem wrestler in that he can't do it very well. And that's his whole thing. Duke Hudson got in, kicked all kinds of ass. Andre Chase tagged in and was like, "No, I got this. And what he got was he took the double team finisher. And what Duke Hudson got was no indication from the agents of the match that he should ever try and get in and break up the pinfall, because he did not do that in any way. The other of whichever, Lucian or Bronco, whichever one it was, ran over and tried to elbow him off the apron as the 3 count was falling. Duke made no attempt to get in and break up the pinfall. He easily could have. We've seen that happen many times, where a guy runs in and pushes his opponent on top of the pile and breaks up the thing. He didn't even attempt it. The whole match was not, but the finish was especially not my cup of tea.
And they were just gonna leave it as not, and not.
Fine with it. Just not.
It was just not. Alex, I wanted to see Duke Hudson wrestle so bad.
I know, he was actually pretty good in the 45 seconds he spent in this match.
I know, he's great, and he's been good in his singles matches, and they've just mostly had him carrying around a trophy.
Yeah.
I just wish, for everybody's sake, especially the viewers, but for everybody's sake of everybody involved, this should have just been a really clean story that even you wouldn't have hated, I think, if it was just Italian mafia, scam university. There's your scandal. I don't think we needed to go out of the way to get OTM in it. And especially if it's not okay, we have this new debuting tag team. They're super green. Getting in there with Duke Hudson, who is established, and Andre Chase, who is established. Maybe they'll do some stuff to help them look really good in this. I don't think that came across because Duke Hudson hardly was in this. And the story of the match is so overpowered. But you're right in that the finish didn't feel like a tag wrestling match. Does that make sense? Like, it just didn't. It felt like two individual guys who got told they were going to have a match 10 minutes before they came through the curtain. Kind of. I think because the lack of trying to break up a pin, it just kind of like, all right. Unless because that also didn't feel like a story wrinkle. It didn't feel like Duke Hudson was like, "I'm not helping you out because we got us in trouble," like, or because you got us in trouble. Like, it just felt like he was like, "Whoops."
No, he was reaching for a tag from a guy who was unconscious 12 feet away from him.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how that works. And I know he knows that's not how that works. And so the point was, like, you know, that somebody told him he had to wait there until the other guy came and knocked him off the apron.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Listen, as a stage actor for 10 years, there are many times where, like, so what do I do here? Well, what if I actually tried to do something like a human being would do in this situation? Like, no, just stand there. Okay, I'll try and make this look good. And then you try and make it look good while just standing there doing nothing, where you should actually try and intervene. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just the way.
But that's just not how. Like, they've tagged together. They were tag team champions, Alex.
Yes. Yeah.
You would just go break up the pin.
Technically, yes. So. And Tony D and Stax sitting there doing nothing, watching the match, not being at all involved in this. Where I thought, like, the thing I was excited about was when they like lost the titles to Chase U. They were like, "You guys owe us. You know what you gotta do." And then from then, I think I've heard Tony D speak one or two words. Like, I mean, like, oh no, they had that whole scene where they won the titles back and they had the thing in the restaurant. But, like, other than that, they haven't done anything.
That was like a month and a half ago, though, wasn't it? At this point,
it feels like it feels like so long. So, like, why are these, like, this is the other thing? They announce the Creeds are the tag team of the year. They did not spend one day this year as champions. I love the Creeds. Objectively, they're the best team in NXT. Tag team in NXT since the switch over to NXT 2.0.
Oh, by a mile, yeah.
No matter what.
And Imperium, but yes.
Yeah, Imperium left so early in that run. Like if you want to talk about longevity, there's nothing that even touches the Creeds. However, not a single day. Gallus was the NXT tag champs for a while. And then two separate reigns of the family of Tony D with and Stax, with a little bit of, like, a week or two of Chase U in there. And before the Gallus was the New Day. Like, that's how.
Oh my God, I forgot.
The New Day were tag champs in NXT more recently than the Creeds were. So, like, it doesn't feel like we're doing a lot with the tag division currently.
No, and not to mention they lost a loser leaves town match.
Yeah.
And,
where they did not. And then
they stuck around. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
The thing is, they are the best tag team that was in NXT this year, probably. Mm-hmm. The thing is, they also did not spend a day as champion as the best tag team in NXT, probably. And they did not do meaningful programs outside of it where you're like, they're not the tag champs, but they're tag champ adjacent. Like, that never happened for them there.
Right.
But yeah. I feel like every week there should be a segment with the family, probably featuring Big Ange. And there hasn't been nearly enough of that.
No, I need more Big Ange in my life.
We all do.
So Noam Dar versus Double Vest, who is no longer Double Vest. He barely ever wears one vest. That's after. So Double Vest chooses to come out by himself in a match where not only does the other guy have three people who help him throughout the match, but you're supposed to have a corner man who like gives you advice and like water breaks and stuff during the interval between rounds, and he says, "No, I don't want anybody." Because now he's gone full singles babyface. He must have no friends. Yes, exactly
Like an idiot.
And this was not the last time he would be like an idiot in this match.
That is correct.
He gets the first pinfall. All he's got to do is get another one. Noam's Dar's offense, for some reason, is booked to have no effect on him. So, like, you're winning this match, dude. You're winning this match. At one point, he gets clocked upside the head with the spit bucket by Lash Legend, and he doesn't even take a pinfall off of it. So then later, Jakara Jackson's distracting the referee, and Oro Mensah rolls the spit bucket in, which has no spit in it, thank God.
Yeah.
And he and Noam Dar fight over it, and he takes it, and in full view of the referee, clocks him on the back. Doesn't even hit him in the head or like get a really good shot in, just like out of frustration. Hits a man between the shoulder blades while he's ready for it. Like it did no damage. Even if the ref hadn't seen it, nothing would have happened. But because it's a Heritage Cup match, doing that immediately disqualifies you, even though he was technically up 1-0. That's it. That's
Alex.
like, what a dope. I mean, honestly, he doesn't have to be, but you booked him to be a total dope who says, I don't want friends, even though this is a match type that specifically asks you to bring friends to the ring. And also, I am going to get myself disqualified out of frustration because I'm a 4-year-old throwing a tantrum in a match where even if you're up 1-0, if you hit somebody with a spit bucket, you immediately lose your shot at the title. You booked him to be a dope. Don't book guys to be dopes.
Don't book guys to be dopes. Here's the thing about the Heritage Cup. It should be the most for Kate thing in the world. Because it's got Noam Dar, great. Rules, I'm a nerd, so great. Time limits, again, nerd, great.
Mm-hmm.
And this match had everything that I hated about things. Like this had Noam Dar is great, and he is not the type of wrestler, even if you're going to book him chicken shit, overbooked, bad at wrestling chicken shit isn't the way to do it. Like, his offense should be sold. Maybe he needs someone's help, but he shouldn't need so much help against a guy, no offense, but like him. Mm-hmm. The no selling of the offense made this feel really weird. It also just cheapens your baby face. Like if they they're just made to look so dumb and bad and stuff like this.
Yeah. And
so you had a dumb baby face, a blatant ref bump, and a heel who, despite having ineffective offense, wins. And even though he's really good and should be presented as really good, he has to win in sneaky ways, and pretty much all of the rules and the time limits and the fun stuff about the Heritage Cup are thrown out the window. Like, that sucks. Mm-hmm. That's not what I want from my Heritage Cup, and that's not what I want as a part of the Meta 5, which I am in. I want to be in it so bad.
I know you do. I know. So I guess we could talk about this now. Luis has just listed as this segment, Horse Team is dead.
They're up to the glue factory.
What you definitely don't want to do is to beat a dead horse team, because then you honestly.
No, you don't. Should we read some puns since this was our topic before we get into this?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so Ricardo the Snowman says Brett the Cowboy Hart almost happened. It's true. I think they were going to make him into a cowboy at one point. Jesse Ozog says Scott Holsteiner.
Oh, that's very good. Like a holster.
Orion Ben says the Meta Posse, featuring Batlash Legend, and Gold Mensa. Not oro, but gold.
Gold.
There's gold in them there hills. Ricardo the Snowman says Chuck and Billy the Kid.
Okay, fair.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Hog Tie Dillinger.
That's really good.
JW Pringle says Shooting Tin Star Press. Jesse Olzog says Colt Cabarna.
Like a barn? Okay.
Cabarna?
Or
Dalton,
like Fallon Henley's bar that she's so attached to.
Dalton Castle and the Cowboys.
Cowboys!
Yep. And here's our two leaders.
Leaders in the clubhouse, people.
Sir Infamous says Hunter Horse Helmsley. And Ricardo the Snowman sends for Gemini season. Send Hoof.
I love it.
And here we go. Yes, and also
a colt is a baby horse. Very well done.
Colt Cabarna.
Boom, boom.
So they he's backstage taking off the wrist tape, and see, there's nothing I like more than a sad taking off of the wrist tape. So he's doing that. And then in walks the Beach and Horse Girl, and he's like, hey man, you did good out there. You almost beat him. I'm not gonna say until you hit him with the spit bucket for no reason. I'm going to leave that out of this, and I'm just going to say you almost beat him. And then the rest of the stuff. But anyway, you almost beat him. Good for you. And Fallon's like, yeah, man, you were up 1-0. Pretty good. You might have beat him. It's like, yeah, but I didn't. Well, maybe if I had been out there, things might have been different. But I know that's not what you wanted. And I know what you want right now is to be a singles wrestler. And that's okay. I support you. I do. In Fallon, I know you'd like nothing better than to accept Tiffany Stratton's challenge. And I should ask, I'm not really sure why you can't accept her challenge while also still being together. My friend. You've had other matches while we were still friends, but I guess this one
against Tiffany Stratton even.
The stipulation is now you must rescind all friendship with Double Vest and the Beach in order to have this match with Tiffany Stratton, is implied by this conversation. But I understand. And then Tiffany Stratton says, there's nothing I'd like more than to beat her and make her muck out a stall or two. And I would ask, I thought the stipulation was if Tiffany beats you, you have to be her slave. I guess the implication that you're saying here is if you beat her, she has to be your slave. Which was not the match proposed by Tiffany Stratton. You can say, I will face you if you agree to be my slave if you beat me. If I beat you. But I also don't think Tiffany Stratton would agree to those stipulations. Correct. I just think she wouldn't do it. But anyway, he says, you guys want to go your separate ways. So I guess this is it. Yeah, I guess it's over. You guys all go to work together. You see each other. Like, it's not like in order to follow my dream, I have to move to Australia. And in order to follow my dream, I must move to Barcelona, Spain, and you will stay here, Beach, in Orlando. Like, you guys will see each other all the time. The idea that you can no longer be friends because you're not in this weird mixed gender stable is, I don't understand. Like, and also Briggs just being really selfish about, like, I have to go out on my own and I can't accept help from my friend. Like, we're not going to take tag matches anymore, is one thing. I don't want to see you hanging around me anymore is a completely different thing. This was a very weird setup for what they were telling us was a very sad breakup. You know what I mean?
Like, are you sure you do hate friendship?
I don't hate friendship.
You should be supporting this.
Why aren't they being friends still? They are telling me they don't want to be friends anymore. They are telling me that in a place where they all come to work in the same building, they can no longer be friends anymore because they want to have singles careers. That does not make sense.
Well, I don't think it's that they can't be friends. I think it's that they're amicably going their individual ways, right? But what I don't understand is, one, Fallon Henley shouldn't be affected by that at all, as you pointed out, and two, I know there were only like 8 people watching at the beginning of 2.0, and you and I were 2 of them.
That's true.
But they started, they actually kind of had like a cool origin story where it was they got in a bar fight, and they were like, yeah, I know we just got in this bar fight, but I kind of respect you. Like, they should have. I actually really like the direction of, and we've seen more of it thanks to the New Day. I firmly believe it's because of them. Like, I like this idea that you can amicably go individual paths and not either not break up a stable or it mean like we had some violent breakup and now we'll never be friends again. I like that direction. But with the 2 guys whose career started as the bar brawlers, that should, if you're gonna split them up, end it in the 2 of them are in a bar fight, and then maybe they shake hands at the end and are like, we're never gonna end like this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it should have more of a thing to it.
I've never, like, because here's the deal. There's a lot more to it than that. I'm sure we're going to figure more of this out next week with the intrigue. But like, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are in every scene together, but they're not a tag team. You know what I mean? There's no reason why if you guys are still friends, if Double Vest and the Beach are still buddies, they can't, like, what he's saying is not that we can't be friends anymore. It's that I don't want to appear in a scene with you anymore on TV. Which is just like, that's what that is. I don't know.
Alex,
it's dumb. It's just dumb. Sorry.
I didn't want to bring this up during the holidays, but now that Christmas is over, I just feel like I have my own YouTube channel. Go subscribe at Miss Kate Babe. I did an interview with Rocky Romero today.
Wow.
I'm doing some really cool stuff on my own YouTube channel, and I don't want to have to do this. And I still want to be your friend, but I just I don't think I should be seen on screen with you anymore. I'll even still do the show. It just needs to be like this.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a confusing segment, but I think it. I'm intrigued to see where these individual paths go. I guess Fallon Henley's looked better week over week than she has before, and Briggs has certainly stepped into his own. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what happens here.
Yeah, well, I refuse to even be part of a show. We're still friends, but I won't be part of a show anymore with you. So
yeah, well, we're not going to be seen on screen together anymore. Oh, well,
what happened? How'd that happen?
I don't know.
Somebody is trying to break.
Oh,
it's me.
Oh my gosh, it's Scripps.
I'm taking over for the other guy because he doesn't want to be. So I'm your new tag team partner. I think is how it goes.
Hey, Scripps, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm still just waiting out my contract.
Sure.
I don't know why I signed that 9-year deal, but they even added time for injury. Those sons of bitches. So I'm going to be here until mid 2031. So, but I'll see you all then, and I'm planning on a big indie takeover. I'm gonna do a world tour, the Scripps World Tour. I'm gonna run for president in some video. Nobody's done that before, and then I'm gonna go all over. I'm gonna do all these house shows, and I'm gonna be a big indie guy.
Scripps, did you not hear about Mustafa Ali?
I don't know who that is. I'm Scripps, and I'm Jesse the Body Ventura. I'm definitely, but in 2031, you mark your calendars.
Scripps.
I've already got the Twitter post timed out. It's going to be one of those, one of those little time things. So you're gonna drop it at noon, in mid 2031.
Scripts, I think you might want to consider seeing if you can get yourself a legacy deal or something, because there's this guy Mustafa Ali, and he did something that sounds kind of similar, and it has 2.1 million views on it.
Oh, Drake, then I'm gonna get twice that many. I'm gonna get 4.7. I don't know how much 2.1 times 2 is, but that's how many I'm gonna get.
It's 4.7. No, you nailed it. You got it.
Great, good, okay, good.
Oh, okay. Well, we
All
wish
right.
you the best in your indie career. So,
Thank you. Anyway, just waiting out my time here. So, as I'm saying,
do
like,
they add time for when you go to the wrong venue? Because then you're going to be there for like another
I know
till like 2040.
Also, like, I know I'm gonna do this podcast with you, but
Sure.
they made me sign an NDA.
Oh,
So I'm not allowed to
no.
talk about the PC or any of the fellas there or any of that stuff with Shawn Michaels.
Did Chris Jericho?
No backstage brawls. Nothing about a dog. Nothing about nothing. I don't get to talk about nothing.
Okay. Well,
So it's probably going to be a pretty boring podcast.
It'll be, instead of a tell all, it'll be like a tell some. We'll just talk about the things that you can,
All right.
But
I could talk about my garden.
2.1 million views, baby.
Right, 4.7. 4.7
though,
Scripps
coming
in mid 2031.
In mid 2031, it's coming.
I gotta go. I got something on the stove, so I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm just boiling some eggs for the week. Anyway, I'll be back.
Okay, thanks, Scripps.
Bye. What happened?
Well, apparently you didn't want to be seen on screen with me anymore, so somebody.
No, that was all a joke, and coincidentally timed. Somebody broke into my feed.
Oh my gosh, they did! It was Scripps. He said he's gonna do a very similar video to Mustafa Ali in like 2030, and it's gonna get 4.7 million views.
Oh man, I don't know.
Guys, Mustafa Ali is gonna rule the world in 2024. I sincerely think there's a chance he's like wrestler of the year in 2024.
The show that's 40 miles from me in February is sold out.
Oh no! I mean, great, but oh no, that you can't go.
Awesome. I didn't even know that I could buy tickets yet. Like, there was no link on the thing that I saw. It was just a picture of the thing. It was not like, call here, go to this website and buy tickets. If I assumed I was going to see a thing with a link and I go clickety click and buy tickets, and it's gone now. Like, it's the Knights of Columbus Hall in a town of 9,500 people. I'm pretty sure the thing seats 48 people. You know what I mean? So like,
sure,
it's sold out quick. So
that rules though. That guy's awesome.
That is amazing. So
I think he's gonna have as close to a Will Ospreay type year as we're gonna get. I'm so excited.
Orion Ben says the segment of the horse team dying needed the Incredible Hulk walkaway music.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
That is very funny. I don't know if this is intentional. It must be. It's got to be. Briggs, Jensen, and Fallon Henry agree to go their separate ways.
Their separate ways.
One day, love will find you. Cora Jade defeated Karmen Petrovic. So this, and then Gigi Dolan saved Karmen Petrovic from a beatdown afterwards.
Guys, I had a conversation with a couple wrestlers about this, and it is now a wrestling pet peeve, and it really grinded my gears today. We're about to get extremely nerdy. So just, I know that I sound like an idiot. Like, I know I sound very up my own ass with this. So don't be like, you sound like a snob. I know already. Irish whips are supposed to be used to set up another move or be a transitional move that warrants further punishment. Irish whipping someone into the corner is not like a move. It is supposed to be used to set up something else. So when you whip Karmen Petrovic, who is greener and isn't fully aware of how to sell a turnbuckle the same way Bret Hart does, You're supposed to follow that up with punishment, or that's supposed to be sequential into something else. You don't Irish whip someone and then go at someone. I had like a 20-minute discussion about this with multiple wrestlers. It is one of the nerdiest things I've ever done in my life. She's not the only person to do it. You're like, I've mostly seen that move used that way. It makes no sense. If you kick out of a pile driver, but an Irish whip is just like too much for you, what are we doing? I'm not saying anybody's finishing her with it, but you know what I mean?
No.
It's an Irish whip. Mm-hmm. You get tossed into the corner. Mm-hmm. See, our resident wrestling expert, Allie Cease. Sure, it is. It's a move used to target the back if you're working the back. She didn't work the back, though. She just whipped her into the corner and then went.
No, right. It's, and I said to you, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying I've seen that happen a lot. It's very old school. Bret Hart took that move every single match. A guy whipped him so hard into the corner that the guy fell down from his own momentum. That's how hard he was throwing him. And Bret Hart hit chest first and dropped because his sternum was bruised and sold like hell for it. Karmen Petrovic didn't sell good enough for it, and Jade did not get nearly enough momentum with the throw to actually make it work. I've seen people do it all the time. Get used to Cora Jade doing stuff and then posing to get heat, because I do feel like they have told her this is how you are going to get heat, is doing stuff, then posing to piss off the crowd. And that's what she's going to do from now on. And it does feel like she's going to have a lot of matches in the near future. So
I find it extremely boring.
Well, of course it's boring.
I don't want to be bored. I really liked Cora Jade when she was like when they made her an underdog in the War Games match, and she was like doing stuff that felt authentic.
On that one. You managed me very on that one. I hated that. But like I think there's something there for her as a heel. I just don't think it's copying other heels.
Yeah, it just feels it feels
derivative. It feels derivative. I think she's an incredibly talented performer. I think a lot of what they are having her do feels very derivative of other people in the past. Not in like this is a good homage or homage, as the Latin homage. But but I don't think it actually works that way. So yeah.
I was just bored.
Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade is your next thing here. So
I mean, that I think will be more productive as well. Like she just had a one-off against Karmen Petrovic.
They have not done, I think, nearly what they could have done with. Man, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that enough time has passed that they just should have, once Mandy Rose was out of the picture, just call up Gigi and JJ together right then. Like have them both try to beat Roxanne together and fail like they did right after Roxanne beat Mandy Rose. And then you call them up as a tag team together.
Oh, 100%.
Because what they've done with each of them since feels aimless and stop-starty. And like, did Gigi Dolan or did Kiana James win that feud they were having that lasted a few months?
Yeah, I think Gigi, but they did not get built out well, and there was an injury in between, so that was also just unfortunate. Yes. But
I feel like they were really good together. They had a really cool act. That act could have existed without Mandy Rose leading it. Put them on the main, especially if you debut on the main roster without Mandy Rose. So few people who watch the main shows also watch NXT. They would have just accepted them as a new tag team. And then just done something with it there. What they've done with both of them, I feel like this is a great opportunity for them to start something new and actually prove they know what to do with Gigi Dolan, because tonight proved more. They don't know what they're doing with JC Jane, who just sits there next to Thea Hale as Thea Hale is anxious for her boyfriend.
Yes, and Gigi, I think, is wildly underutilized. Like, I feel like she's one of those ones that could have come in and been basically main roster ready, because she just knows exactly who she is in a wrestling ring in every capacity. She's come in, she's adapted her character from who she was on the indies, I think, extremely well to a WWE environment. I wish they would do more with her because I thought she was a really good heel, and I think she's actually an even better face. Like, she's very easy to get behind, and she feels refreshingly different than a lot of the faces that they have there because she's not so plucky, underdog, smaller girl, whatever. Like, she has something really refreshing about her.
Right.
That's very charismatic, and like there's some intrigue with her. Like, she's a little different than everybody else that's there, and I wish they would lean into that.
Lexis King fought Riley Osborne, whose character is Thea Hale has a crush on him. That's his character. We haven't seen anything from him to show. There's nothing. He is a complete cipher. There's nothing about him. We don't even know. Like, there's nothing interesting about him. There's nothing about him. They haven't told. I believe he has an Australian accent. Like, I have heard so few words, I can't quite remember what he sounds like. And now they put him in the final of the Breakout tournament, and there's a chance he wins because he has a character and a story. The character is Thea Hale has a crush on him. That's it. He beat Lexis King tonight. Lexis King has an overarching character, which is like some kind of weird version of the Joker who just wants to cause chaos by getting booked into pay-per-view matches and then losing. Like, that is his thing. But
wait, but also this. I'll slide forward on my chair.
But he slides to the side of his chair.
Okay, but like I'm working with what I've got here, Alex.
Okay, fine. I'm just letting you know. That's anyway. So there's a distinction between sliding forward and sliding to the side. Anyway, he also hit a very large man whose name is not Bear Tree Hill. It is Trey Bear Hill. I always will get that mixed up. To gain entrance into this tournament. And Trey Bear Hill came out and sat down on a chair throughout the whole thing. The entire match was Lexis King beating the crap out of Riley Osborne. And then Riley Osborne was put on the top rope, I believe, by Lexis King, who then saw Trey Bear Hill stand up with the chair and got distracted. So he got kicked and fell down. And then Riley Osborne hit one offensive maneuver. It sounds a lot like if you're wondering, hey, no, that was the match he had before, Riley Osborne, where he fought Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver looked great and threw him all over the ring and beat the hell out of him. And then took one Gamengiri and then a shooting star press and lost.
This is also that.
Riley Osborne do the exact same match 2 times in a row to get into the finals of the Breakout tournament. So that is what they're doing with Riley Osborne. Lexis King lost. That's good. And now Trey Bear Hill is going to beat the hell out of him.
I don't fully understand why some people can just bring a folding chair down the ramp and sit there.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
why not?
Put them on commentary or...
Well, here's the thing. When you have Booker T making sense, it's bad. What the hell is he doing out here? And Vic Joseph is like, he's got every right to be here. Lexis King hit him with a chair a couple of weeks ago, and therefore, I don't know. I don't even like it.
He tried so hard. I just don't feel like he's a really intimidating dude. And to have him sit on a steel chair is like the least intimidating thing you could do. He looked like he was there to watch a kid's school play. Yeah. I get that he got hit with a steel chair, and so now he's coming out on a steel chair and sitting on it. But he's so much more menacing if he's just standing near the apron. I'm glad Lexis King lost because I don't think... Because if he moved on to the next round of this, he would have to win it. And I think Femi should win it.
Yes.
Riley Osborne.
What I am afraid of, though, is
Is
because Riley
Osborne's the
Osborne
winner.
has a character, and that is what I am afraid of.
I feel like he's probably he seems like he knows himself in the ring, and the one move we get to see him do is very good. In a breakout tournament, I would like to see him get to break out more. Because he has done just basically that twice. So I need Femi to shot put him into the crowd. Or I need him to actually have some offense that makes him look convincing. Like if the reason you've been hiding his offense is so that he breaks out in the finals of this, cool. But he's going to have to do a lot to convince me that Femi winning isn't the right move because, oh my God, Femi's so cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about him right now. Breakout tournament's no good. It's small potatoes. NXT title, small potatoes. Femi is it right now. Now I know we've said that a lot about a lot of other people, and they never show up on. I'm predicting that Scripps will make his indie update before Femi makes his main roster debut. Because, like, honestly, Oba coming out, his music is great. And he punctuates it with this amazing, like, chest bump. Like, it's really cool. He's awesome. He's got an amazing look. He's got a tremendous size. He moves really well in the ring. He sells great for a big man. Somebody told me on Twitter he's 23 years old. That cannot be true. I thought that I have to doubt it because somebody told me that Julius Creed was like 24. Turns out he's almost 30. Please, somebody tell me how old Femi is because he cannot be 23. That can't be it. Can't be it.
His character is I throw couches and that rules.
His character is also I smash people.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Tavion Heights, by the way, this should have been your final. Give these two guys 15 minutes on New Year's Evil.
He's great
That's
too.
what you do. Like, he's really good. He's throwing Femi around. He's really good. He's 22 years old. Now listen. That man is not 22 years. That man is a goddamn grown man. That man has old man strength at 22 years old. He is no friggin' way that dude's 22 years old.
Alex, I don't know about you.
No.
But I'm feeling 22. There's one of like 6 Taylor Swift references I can make. But you know what, Alex? Know what I would say? I feel as though the odds are stacked against Riley Osborne next week.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But if I would want to know odds about any specific match.
Tell me odds.
Do you know where I would look?
Where?
I would look online.
Oh.
And darn it, I might bet online as well.
BetOnline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
He's Hoss Kofi Kingston. Lieutenant Colonel Foner. Says somebody in the SGS Discord saying that he's Haas Kofi Kingston. He does look like what would happen if, like, okay, so Kofi Kingston is like Bruce Banner, and Obafemi is the Hulk version of that. This Kofi Kingston coming out twerking in a Santa costume on Monday Night Raw last week, and then like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, and then just honestly during the this is what they needed to do, man. When they were doing all the silly stuff during what was it called? The Thunderdome era? When they were doing all the silly stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Pre-tapes and stuff and cinematic matches. Having Obafemi debut as what happens when you make Kofi Kingston angry would have been a really fun thing to do during that time.
It would have
really fun.
22 years old with this guy. Damn.
Insane.
That's awesome.
That's
good for him because he's an NIL class, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's from the University of Alabama.
He got it fast. He got it really fast because he can sell.
Really
he gets
fast.
Like the in-ring storytelling aspect of it. Like you can tell already, and that's awesome because that's not always like the easiest part to get. A lot of people can do the make a wrestler moves, but like he picked up on this quickly.
Post the link. Somebody post the link.
Yeah, Luis, can you post the Discord link if you don't mind?
Post the link because yes, it's great. So yeah, he's amazing. Tavion Heights did a lot of really good offense. And
yeah, he's great too.
Obafemi sold for it, and then eventually just hulked up, hit him with a lariat as he was rolling into the ring, and that was it. You're done. Got pop up, and then into that really cool sit out powerbomb thing he does. Like, yeah,
it's really impressive. That sit out powerbomb is great, and for a breakout tournament, like this has been productive in that there are people I'm really looking forward to seeing, and Tavion Heights is one of them. Like I'm really impressed by what we've seen earlier. Keanu Carver I thought was really good. Like I think we kind of talked about this already, so I don't want to be a dead horse girl or horse team, but I feel like the way the breakout tournament got used differently, but it's still productive. Like it's not like Odyssey Jones and Carmelo Hayes type finals where it's like these guys are ready right now, but it is like hey, this is what's coming, and it's awesome. Like I'm excited about that for sure. So
Obafemi should absolutely win this, and I will tell you why.
Why?
At the end of the show, I'll tell you exactly what my fantasy booking is at the end of the show.
That was such after this commercial break.
Yeah.
Stick around through a bunch of songs and weird puns to find out.
By the way, Tavion Heights has an incredibly bright future, and I would not be surprised to see that guy be a major player in NXT this time next year.
Yes.
Like major player. Last Nathan Frazier. So they were doing they announced Tiffany Stratton, Female of the Year. They announced Ilya Dragunov, Male Wrestler of the Year. Okay, cool. So they asked those things. And Nathan Frazier and Axiom are reacting to the announcement of Ilya Dragunov backstage. Like, wow, I would have liked to have won that. Yes, so would I have. But I wish them a good. Maybe next year we'll have enough of stuff to actually be warranted to be announced for that. To be considered. For your consideration. I'm just happy it wasn't Braun Breaker, says Nathan Frazier. Can you imagine a guy just walking around just being angry all the time? Boy, what a guy I don't like. I don't like that guy. Not only is he big and dumb, but he's also stupid, and I don't like him. He's also ugly. And Axiom just sitting there watching Braun Breaker walk up from behind Nathan Frazier. Nathan Frazier's like, he's behind me, isn't he? Well, guess we're doing this again. And he turns around into Braun. He's like, I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say to your face. She's like, great, cool. It's like, maybe you should slow down and think before you speak. Won't slow down. Can't slow down. I won't slow down now, never. I won't slow down unless Bob is not my uncle. And as we all know,
Bob's my uncle. Yeah.
So he says, let's have a match. Maybe your spear can catch my speed or something. And he turns around and says, thanks for letting me know he was standing there. And Axiom goes, bro, I was winking at you.
Because he's got a mask on.
It's funny. He's a
Get it? It was all right. That segment was all right by me. I've seen worse.
Sure. And also Braun Breaker versus Nathan Frazier. I was like, that's going to be a great undercard match on New Year's Eve. They were like, that's happening tonight. And I was like, oh. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Hopefully they run it back, I guess. Yeah. This was
I mean, I don't know, because the match was really good. It was what you should expected. It was what it should be when a powerhouse faces a guy who's has blinding speed. That's what this should be. And eventually, Braun stopped being dizzied by all the crazy stuff. Nathan Frazier kept running at him. And guess what you probably shouldn't do to Braun Breaker over and over again is just keep running at him, because eventually he will lower his shoulder and you will just bend in half. And that is what happened. Although Alex, I was like, I needed this. Maybe they're saving this for a second time at a bigger stage. But I wanted Nathan Frazier to do the Phoenix Splash, and as he twists around and comes down, there's the spear. I just wanted to do a Phoenix Splash into a spear as opposed to just running into one. But it was very good. I liked it a lot.
It was quite good. And Alex, sometimes people don't have spears that break other people in half. You know what I mean? Sometimes people's speed catches the spear and it's not so great. Sometimes the spear can outlast the speed, and that can lead to some embarrassing situations.
So you're saying sometimes your spear is too speedy?
Sometimes your spear is a little bit on the quick side. And you just want to savor the moment. You want it to last a little bit longer, Alex.
Yeah.
And as far as breaking people in half goes, some don't stand a chance.
But
sometimes you just need a little bit of help. You need a little assistance.
Yeah.
In the spear speed department. Bluechew.com's got you covered.
Is your sex life stuck in developmental? Well, get ready for a call up with Bluechew.com and the code Fightful. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but how about this? No awkward in-person visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. But let me tell you, your package is not going to be discreet when you use Bluechew, and the code Fightful helps give you that confidence, that performance to take you straight to the main event, if you know what I'm saying. When approved online by one of our physicians, it just arrives straight to your door. You're not going to have people nosing around with what you're doing. And right now, you get your first shipment free when you use the code Fightful. Go straight to the top. You know what I mean. Memorable performance, high spot, whatever other innuendos you can think of. Bluechew.com and the code Fightful.
Pretty good segue there.
Thanks. Hey, you know what else is pretty good?
What's that?
FightfulSelect.com.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone then?
I mean, it's got all the scoops, and also it's got us. And this, honestly, scoops is secondary to us.
This $5 a month.
Yeah.
For extra this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including this weekend, World's End. We have me and not you, not you probably, because you'll be at the scrum, but you'll be there in spirit.
I will, and I'm normally there.
I will request humbly of you that you will send me your hot takes in the DMs, and I will read them on the air.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
There you go. So we will. So Kate's takes on the thing. Kate's takes will be. It'll be like a segment. Hey, Kate's takes. and then we'll read them on the air. So there you go.
So subscribe to FightfulSelect.com, $5 a month or $54 a year for all the best takes in the whole wide world.
Crazy.
Plus more of me and Alex, plus Ask Grapsody every other week, plus Sean's Q&A, plus The Hump Goes On, plus a bunch of other stuff back there, figure hauls, all sorts of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So just like go to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe because like 10,500 other people have done it. So you should probably just do it.
Right.
Peer pressure is great and it works. So sign up or you're a little bitch. Unless you can't afford it. Like we don't want to be insensitive to that. But if you can and you don't, you're a little bitch.
Okay. So, the no quarter catch crew explained to us what no quarter means. It means they don't take any prisoners. And, yeah. So
It means they hate quarters. They're like nickels, dimes.
Yeah, no quarters.
A Sacagawea coin? Sure. A $50.
Yeah.
Quarters?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks? They hate Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Worst.
Yeah. So they did a little challenge vignette while they all stepped forward while working out their wrist tape and punching their own palms and
a big night for wrist tape on the show.
Working out their necks and stuff so they could be intimidating and say that they want Dragon Lee and LWO and a 6-man tag. And Charlie Dempsey made sure to say a lot of stuff in here, even though he knows already that he's going to be an All Japan show and he's going to not be here for this one. He will not be a part of this 6-man tag, but oh, if I was, I would stretch you out so much, but I won't be there because I will be in Japan. So yes, he's going to be Charlie Dempsey in Japan. Cool. Doing an All Japan
thing. That
is
really
awesome.
Cool.
That's really cool. Charlie Dempsey is one of those guys who I feel like the ratio of actual in-ring talent skill to how they present him wins and losses is the worst ratio on this show.
It's not great.
Like he doesn't win matches. He straight up doesn't.
But he also doesn't have a lot of them. Like I think,
but I mean, like, but you watch Charlie Dempsey and he knows his footwork is impeccable. He knows exactly where to be. He's great at selling. Like all of his offense is snug. He knows all these awesome counters, and he loses 70% of his matches. And it feels like this is a guy who perhaps going to All Japan is going to be able to work in ring with guys who have way more experience than him in some ways, as opposed to much less. And so he's gonna switch around a little bit what he does. But I'm looking forward to seeing some film of that because that should be fun.
Yeah.
But also this Gulak, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne versus Dragon Lee and the former Legato Boys should be a fun little 6-man. So
that should be. I love Drew Gulak, and I obviously love the stable.
Mm-hmm.
This promo came across kind of dorky to me. I think it was the lighting.
It was the fact that they were trying to be so hard, and it was like
you're just a bunch of techers.
Like a bunch of techers. That's why.
A bunch of techers.
Imagine if like Zack Sabre Jr. was like, "Oi, I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna pop you up." He's like, "Hi, dickhead." Like it's like gotta be that kind of a guy.
Why are his legs so angry? That was like my favorite of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a little it was a little intense, a little bit hard. And I tweeted like I just felt like they made technical wrestling seem really dorky, and my understanding of it was the epitome of cool to be a technical wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And I will not hear otherwise. But I'm excited about the stable. I'm excited about Drew Gulak being used in this way in particular. Both, he's just fantastic in ring, and being used to like raise these guys is a good. Yeah. See, Luis called it out. ZSJ would be like Dragon Bullocks. Well, that's reserved for Danielson, but along those lines, like I feel like a lot of technical wrestlers have been offset by more flamboyant characters because the technical style is so technical. So like a King Regal type thing or whatever. Like it helps to have boisterous personalities when you are that technical. But I'm very excited for the future of this stable. I'm very excited that Charlie Dempsey gets to go to All Japan. And that WWE is opening up working relationships. That's just a cool thing. So very much looking forward to that.
I also love that this is a direct extension of Drew Gulak and 205 Live, because he also was pitching the no fly zone thing.
It's such a fun idea. Yeah.
It's like no. This is 205 Live, but just because we're all 205 pounds doesn't mean we have to do flips. Doesn't mean we have to do top rope stuff. Some of us are mat technicians, and if I catch you, you're not going to be jumping off of anything because I'm going to break your leg. Like that. That was a really man. Speaking of Mustafa Ali, that guy had the feud of all time in 2018 with Buddy Murphy, but people forget about his feud with Drew Gulak, which was just
great.
As brutal in a completely different way. That was great. Like that's the thing. Like if I could say what like 1 year of any show of WWE that you could do, because nobody watched it in real time either. Go find 205 Live. If you have Peacock and you have the network, go find 205 Live. Start with the tournament to crown a new NXT champion after they fired Enzo, because Enzo was champion when they fired him, and so they're like, we're gonna have a new tournament. Matches you get in that tournament include Roderick Strong versus Cedric Alexander was a match you got in that tournament in like the second round. Like it was an amazing tournament, and it starts a spring, summer, fall, and early winter of amazing cruiserweight matches. Go watch that. Gosh, it was so good. Dragon Lee and LWO are backstage getting interviewed about this match they're going to have next week. And then up walks Elektra Lopez, who is like saying hi to the LWO guys. It's like, oh my God, it feels like yesterday we were running this place. And Elektra did not say, hey, I was wondering, you guys got on the plane without me because I was supposed to go with you. Remember that?
But she had her job at the docks, though.
No, but that was the thing they did later, because they retconned that and said she had to stay and work at the docks. But she should still be mad because Santos was like, I couldn't leave without all of you. Get in the car. And then
everyone except you.
On the way to the airport,
hot and charismatic woman.
On the way to the airport, they all stopped for snacks, and they all went into the 7-Eleven, and they all ran back out to the car and drove away. And she's standing there with her Twizzlers and her Big Gulp, like, guys, and she had to stay in Florida. So I think she should have been mad at them, but she wasn't.
She got Kevin McAllister. That's what happened.
Yeah. Lola Vice, who again I think is very good. It's the least at a glance of anybody at all that anybody has ever at a glanced. She won the at a glance title, and she has it, and she can use it in Lyra Valkyria, but she's not even allowed to mention it while Lyra is feuding with Blair Davenport.
Yes.
We've already seen Carmelo cash in on somebody after a match with that thing. So could she theoretically, if Lyra has a brutal match with Blair Davenport, run in at the end of it with her at a glance folder and say, I'm cashing this in right now? We already saw Carmelo do that. So why couldn't she do that to Lyra? They should mention that as a possibility. But I did like her being awkward watching her current friend, Elektra Lopez, talk to her old work buddies and being like, I am totally the fifth wheel here.
I also loved that Elektra Lopez was like, well, this is my new friend. It was that was a place where the sixth grade tropes that we get on the show actually worked, which was refreshing. But this was fun. She's been very over, and we don't see her in the ring a lot, but I think she has a lot to offer the wrestling realm, whether it ends up being valeting or whatever. Like she's very like it's really fun to see her on screen, and not just because she's gorgeous, but her whole presence is really valuable in a wrestling context, I think. So
Yeah.
whether she goes up with Legato or whatever,
like I especially in WWE, Latina smoke show who can knock you out with one kick.
yeah.
That is a ready-made character forever. Like right now, right? Imagine her walking down the ramp with Santos, with her on Santos's arm, and we think she's just this hot valet, and then she does her back spinning heel kick to whoever Santos is feuding with at the time, and knocks him out.
Oh.
Like just make an actual, like a real total, like she's not like his arm candy. She's a hired assassin who also happens to look like that.
Yes.
Like that would be amazing.
Really
that
fun.
would be a really cool thing to do with her. Absolutely, man. So that 6-man should be fun. At some point, we're gonna need a definition of Ava Rain's role here in the company.
This whole segment was like 2 sentences, and I was like, this is weird in 47 different ways. Let's recount them.
There were two separate Ava Rain segments in this thing, and neither of them were explained in any way. Hey, Ava, do you have any update from the trainer on Ilya Dragunov? It is crazy to me that we are asking her these questions. And just accepting it. We're just accepting it. I'm sorry. Like, is there a thing with Sean that he doesn't appear on screen anymore? We saw him come out and talk to CM Punk at the Pape. Like,
we sure did.
Why is he not on TV anymore?
Because he was in a Bret Hart sweatshirt.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Also, conduit to somebody who is making matches, so that is happening on screen makes sense. Medical update.
Yeah.
Person just feels like a very different.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo asks, can someone please explain what Ava is? She is Jack Tunney from the old WWF, but she's also an active female competitor, maybe? I don't know. She says, like, I haven't been able to get a hold of Ilya Dragunov. I just tried. She's still not picking up his phone. But the medical staff says that it's up to him whether or not to cancel the match. Like they're not going to clear him.
So many things wrong with the sentence.
They're not going to clear him or not clear him. They're just going to ask him, "Do you still want to do it?" He's like, "Meh, sure." And that's a thing that she has that update.
What is the point of your medical staff? Please tell me. There's so many things wrong with this. I couldn't get a hold of Ilya Dragunov. Well, that should be concerning. Yeah. Girl who's half a GM / was also in a cult and The Rock's daughter. Yeah. What qualified you for this role? Second of all, could Shawn Michaels get a hold of him? Because if he can't, there's something very wrong with that. Third of all, why are you able to talk to his doctors, and isn't it violating HIPAA to just tell you these things? Yeah. And fourth of all, why is Ilya Dragunov, who's in a neck brace, allowed to decide whether or not he competes in a match when you have an authority figure and a conduit to that authority figure?
Yeah.
Why is it up to him?
Yeah. I need her to start doing the medical updates and the matchmaking from behind a desk in really stilted pre-tapes like Jack Tunney used to do. I am making the match for this Saturday between Bret the Hitman Hart and Diesel. I'm just very.
I want it as breaking news. Like,
yeah.
I'm standing here outside of the hospital, the medical facility, where Ilya Dragunov is inside. We can't get a hold of him, but his medical team has told us it's in his hands because they are incompetent.
Well, keep us updated, Eva, on this fast breaking situation.
I have to go to therapy because I was in a cult and suddenly I'm not.
So also
my dad is Dwayne Johnson. Thank you.
Ariana Grace comes to her with a problem of Roxanne having slapped her. And again, I think everything Ariana Grace is doing is great. Honestly, I love the character. I hate the sash. Lose the sash, and I am 100% on board. With the sash, I am 0% on board. That is how much the sash is a deal breaker for me. Because I do think everything she's doing, the way the promos are written, how she's describing everything, I love that she was like, Roxanne Perez actually came to us or whatever. I don't know. She didn't say me. She suggested a match versus you at New Year's Evil. And she says, "Oh, and how did she take it when you rejected her?" Well, I hope. No, actually, we gave her the match, and that was great. That was fine. I just don't understand why Ava Raine is doing this and not Shawn Michaels or literally anybody else.
It is extremely weird. I'm in on Ava Raine officially, man. This almost feels like we've been talking about Mustafa Ali today a lot, which is fun, but it has that same passive aggressive thing that Positive Ali did. Right. I'm in on it. I get why you don't like the sash, and it's because it makes absolutely no sense. Right. This is one of those things where I'm like, I don't care. I'm in.
I'm fairly consistent on things not making any sense.
You're very consistent on it. And I'm usually there with you, but there's some times where I just go, it's wrestling. This is fun. I'm in. And usually that gap is when they close it and get it to a wrestling ring, then I'm in. And they've figured out a way to get it to a wrestling ring. So I'm in. But you're right in that it makes no sense. I have no argument with that. I just don't care. I like it.
Sarah Schreiber hosted a sit-down interview between Blair Davenport and Lyra Valkyria that gave me no new information about anything. Match will still be good, but I don't know what. This was just one of those things they do. It's on free TV. You don't need to sell the pape, so I don't know what you know what I mean. So I don't know
It was a taped episode. And this was part of the taped episode. I think I
just didn't. No new information was presented to me at all.
No, somebody in the chat just said this needed Mackenzie. They miss Mackenzie Mitchell. I don't know what didn't work there, but
wow. Like apparently, Sean was surprised that she got fired.
Yeah, if Sean is caught off guard, something's up. Yeah,
this came from way up the food chain. I don't understand why somebody way up the food chain decides we're going to fire Mackenzie. That doesn't make any sense.
This felt like somebody up the food chain had a feud with her parents, and she was fired because of it. This was so weird. She was great though, and this did miss her. We found out nothing new from last week. I think they were just trying to reiterate the fact that these two have worked a lot together before, and I do always appreciate that they. I like that WWE, now that Vince is gone, has gone out of their way to start acknowledging people's pasts as wrestlers, and that these two were just ships in the night a lot is something that's interesting. They did a very extensive video package about the same thing, and they didn't really tell us anything new here. Right. Yeah. But it I hope they don't do a lot of these, so I hope they do more of these, but tell us new information.
Right. Joe Gacy defeated Joe Coffey. The only thing of interest here to me really is that both Joe Gacy and Joe Coffey at different points smacked their hand very loudly on the commentary desk and was like, "I'm Joe Gacy," and then everyone was like, "I'm Joe Coffey," and they just wanted to make sure that the Booker T knew who they were.
Yeah. Which they were probably doing as a rib, but it's probably sincerely a good idea.
Did you catch that Booker T, like for a very long sentence, called Josh Briggs Brooks Jensen twice?
Yes.
And then Vic called him out on it. And he was like, "Well, yeah, I know." he does whatever. So I love that Joe and Joe were like, "We are two different people." And I am this one, and he is that one.
Booker T, despite us being very critical of him, clearly watches our show because he knows them as Double Vest in the Beach, probably, and so he can't keep their names straight.
Right.
So he was like, "Oops, wrong guy," because he's thinking in our terms.
Yeah. Joe. So Mark Coffey and Wolfgang are there, and then Hank and Tank come down and attack Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, which allows Joe Gacy to win with his ridiculous handspring lariat that does like Joe Coffey has a great discus lariat. And
Yeah, he does.
He missed it so that Joe Gacy could hit his ridiculous handspring lariat. Like, I just give him, if you're gonna have him, give it. Like, also, you know who wins with lariats now? Double Vest. So like maybe Joe Gacy could have he feels like a dude who would have like a really cool, I don't know, like a pedigree type of thing. Something like that, like some kind of maneuver like that would be really great. Or like a pretty sick looking Uranagi, the Emerald Fusion, something like that, because the handspring lariat just has never done it for me and continues to not do it for me.
It's a little silly. I like Joe Gacy a lot, and I like him in the ring. There was not really a payoff to the fact that he was hiding under a ring and at commentary. He just like showed up and had a match.
They said, is this the beginning, a new beginning for Joe Gacy? Is nobody going to talk about the fact that like 2 months ago he threw a camera off a roof in a thinly veiled suicide note? Like, what are we like? It was just weird.
I don't know. It's really nice to see him in the ring because he's good. So I appreciate that. But like, to just for weeks and weeks have him be like out of his mind and then just showing up here and not giving any promo was odd.
Luis says, give him the Gonzo bomb. I'm all in for it. Let's do it. So I'm hoping they do something more with Joe Gacy that actually tells us what he's been doing, why he's doing this stuff. I don't know what that is.
Maybe he'll just be a GM next week. Who knows?
He could. There you go. Eddy Thorpe defeated Dijak. This was a really good match. This is the first NXT Underground match they did was not in the arena. It was like in a different spot, and they didn't have ring posts. And I feel like doing a no ropes match with the ring posts still attached is an invitation for horrible things to accidentally happen. And they brought the ring posts into it. This was really great. Eddy Thorpe won. It is a weird. I guess he's reclaiming the phrase, but to have a Native American character call his Impaler DDT Manifest Destiny is an inversion of the original, which I guess is kind of cool. That he's like, yeah, that's mine now. You don't get to do that to me. I do that to you. Okay, cool. So if they're gonna keep Trey Bearhill around doing this exact same gimmick that he's been doing, and they have Eddy Thorpe, the only option you have is to make them a tag team. I do not feel like that's a very specific gimmick where it is not like, I'm not just saying like all black guys should be in a tag team. I'm saying you have two guys whose gimmick is a Native American, and that is a very specific thing. So I'm wondering what they're going to do to like really separate them in very different ways. But I guess we'll see.
Greg Cherry, it's country western puns, and everybody, you're invited to get in your puns.
Cowboys, horses, things like that.
The thing is, if you don't pair them as a tag team or have someone as a heavy or whatever,
right,
you're gonna have to differentiate the two of them a lot. And I feel like they're very different. But what will happen is inevitably one of them will be extremely tastelessly done, and I don't want that for either one of them. So pair them up.
Yeah.
Also, Dijak is great. Like,
he really is, man.
He's great, and they don't give him wins in big spots. And I would like for him to win a feud blow off at some point. Like, he has put on some fantastic matches, and he's been on the losing end of them a lot. So I would really like to see him start to get some W's, because we are very stringent on the fact that wins and losses should point you in the direction of your push. And I think that's fair, because that's, to me, the point of a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. However, there are some people that abuse forgiveness with that. And NXT historically has been one of them. And they use the crutch of the fact that Dijak is extremely convincing and I think perpetually over in the way that they want him to be over, and never feels weak because he always looks menacing. I would like to see him win matches in key spots. It's not like he's always losing, but like in these big last man standing matches, NXT Undergrounds, like he's on the losing end too much. He's on the losing end too much.
He's great, and he is the perfect type of veteran in NXT who will always feel like he is just ready to put him in a major spot. And he could win, or he could put over a guy in a way nobody else possibly could.
Sure.
Like he did that with Dragunov. He did that with Wesley. He's doing that with Eddie Thorpe. He did that with Tony D'Angelo.
He
made Tony seem real legit when he beat Dijak. And Dijak is somehow, even though he's a guy who gets put in these big spots over and over again and comes out on the short end, he never loses any status because of it.
Yes, agreed.
You know what I mean? He always feels like he's that guy. And to his credit, I love that he said, I want to go back to NXT, and I'm not doing it for some kind of vanity project.
Yeah,
I want to go back there and be a part of the roster. He's been there longer than anybody else consistent in this new, like, heading back to NXT.
This wave of it, yeah.
Yeah. And he's never been like, when's it my time? When's it my time? I gotta get my big shot, or send me back to the main roster if I'm not gonna be champion or whatever. I don't know if anybody's like pulled that card, but it does feel like there are people here who are like here to do a thing, and then they're like just materialize away. He's like, I'm here to do this. I think that's great. I really do. There's so much a guy like Eddie Thorpe can learn from working Dijak. And that whoever the next guy is that you put him in a program with Dijak is going to learn all kinds of things too. Here's a thing. When I say Tavion Heights should be a guy who a year from now is a major player, between now and a year from now, have Tavion Heights work a serious, like 3-match
program,
3-month program with a rubber match at the end that he wins. Like have him shock Dijak with the first one. Have Dijak win a brutal match in the second one, and have Tavion Heights be like, I got to get one more because I know I can beat you. And have that be a great match between the two of them. Those guys would work really well together. Like, that's the kind of thing that I know he can do, and make Tavion Heights feel like a guy after beating Dijak, who's like, you got to put that guy near the top of a title program because he beat Dijak. That's the kind of thing to do, you know?
I'm with you.
So the show ended with Trick Williams and Dragunov having a backstage contract signing. It turns out the reason Ava could not get a hold of Dijak was because he was driving while wearing a neck brace. Because he just shows up while wearing a neck brace and being like, I am looking for Trick Williams. And at the end, they had this pre-taped thing with them in a very small closet, sitting at the world's tiniest table to have a contract signing with nobody there because there's nobody who runs the place. And it's just, I don't know. They did a contract signing in a broom closet.
It was. It's where Script hangs out.
And Trick and Carmelo was like, you're not the one who took him out. You're not the one who did that to him. So take advantage of it. You got to be champion. Nobody's going to remember in 5 years that you beat Dragunov when he wasn't at his best. Like, you know, so Trick's like, yeah, but I kind of want him at 100%. So anyway, he's like, I'm fine putting the match off until later, until you're at your best. And then Ilya's like, well, Trick Williams, unfortunately, there is nothing and no one who could keep me from having this match at New Year's Eve. And they signed the contract. And so here we go.
Alex, yes. I just need to ask you.
Yeah.
Is it you? Did you take out everybody? Are you taking out everybody at NXT?
I did. I have. Although if I was taking out people at NXT, it would be Lexis King. So
It would have been Dominic when Dominic was around.
When Dominic was around, it would have been him. The fact that he made it through his time in NXT unscathed means I'm not the guy taking people out. So here's what I think. I think that Ilya having this neck injury, which is a one-off weird little thing, like Ridge wasn't on the show today. Ridge had a tweet being like, "This is not me. I'm wishing the best to Ilya Dragunov."
We're hearing from him next week, I believe.
Yeah, I guess. So
what was told?
I don't know what this was. So Ilya has this neck injury that Trick Williams doesn't want to exploit, but Carmelo kind of does. So I wonder if Carmelo hits Trick with the belt while Trick's not looking, and Trick doesn't know that he wins it via some kind of weird chicanery, and hates that Melo does this, because I wonder if like Dragunov is a Royal Rumble call up, because they gave him this thing out of the blue for no reason with no connection to Ridge Holland's story so far. And I wonder if they're like, they gave him this out. Like nobody can beat Dragunov at full strength. And they didn't want to make Trick the bad guy by having him take out Trick and make him hurt Trick. So they had some other guy do it for whatever reason. So I'm wondering if this is a little thing to protect Ilya on his way out by having, and Trick's hugely over. And if this becomes a thing with Trick and Carmelo, after this, we all think they're definitely going to do a Carmelo versus Trick match before Carmelo gets fully called up to SmackDown. Maybe they make it a reason for this as well. And this is why I think Obafemi has to win. Because I think Trick Williams needs a monster to slay. Or needs to be slain by a monster because Carmelo costs Trick the match. And then you have Trick climb the mountain to slay the monster again. Obafemi beating Trick in Trick's first defense as champion because of Carmelo allows you to have now Trick and Carmelo have a fight. And Trick can claw his way back up to beat Obafemi. And along the way, Obafemi squashes everybody who comes after him. Just defends his title in 2 minutes tops, over and over again, until Trick gets back to face him at, let's say, Stand and Deliver. And you have Trick versus Obafemi for real this time. Carmelo's gone. Trick put that in his past, and it's Trick Williams, the still hugely babyface, and Obafemi, the unkillable monster. Like, I mean, it makes Obafemi forever. And then you have Trick, who the people love Trick, and he's a great baby face because he doesn't look like a baby face, but he's hugely over and he can come after him. Trick's a big, tall dude. Him and Obafemi would look great in the ring together. I'm sure of it. The stuff that Trick would do to Obafemi would rock him, but Obafemi doesn't get put down by anything. There's some really, really, really good stuff there.
I think the Rickies will have you nominated as Booker of the Year. I think you might win. So congratulations in advance. If they call Dragunov up, I'm so intrigued because that just feels like he's getting called into the Imperium picture right away, right? He has to go there. That could be really fun. I like your idea. I don't know if there's a better path that I see of somebody, unless doesn't feel like they're here to give Baron Corbin a title run. No. Like I'm trying to think of who else has been hanging around that picture. But I guess you got to start kind of thinking in those terms of who's up next stuff, unless they're going to give Braun another run.
So, man, I don't know how they would want to. Problem is, I know how I want to see Dragunov, but they want me to see Dragunov. Feels like he's pretty foreign heelish type to the main roster sensibilities. But man, I don't know if I want him on the same show as Gunther, because that immediately means we're getting Dragunov versus Gunther immediately, and it's kind of a foregone conclusion. I wouldn't mind seeing a parallel story of Dragunov with the other title on the other show, which means Dragunov beating the piss out of Logan Paul is on the table, which is what I want. So
sure, but I think
Dragunov,
we're getting LA Knight for that.
I mean, maybe. There's some cool stuff there as well, but I think Dragunov is beyond ready to be on the main roster. Sure, you can have him go after Gunther and be the one to take out Gunther. Why not? Absolutely. Or let's see. Depending on how they want to present Dragunov, if Cody wins, Cody, Mr. America versus the Mad Russian just screams like a major feud. You know what I mean?
Oh God, I would want Cody to lose so bad.
Of course I would too, but the crowd wouldn't. The crowd just wants to go, whoa! You know, and he would like, that's all they would want, man.
If they did really fun, they've gotten better about this, but if they did fun heel versus heel feuds, a Nakamura versus Dragunov feud would be so awesome. But Cody versus Dragunov would be great. But man, yeah, I'm so fatigued on this version of Cody.
I know. People aren't though. Like it's a.
No, he's super over. Sammy's super over. Jay's super over. Like they have baby faces that are super over.
They have baby faces. And listen, the great thing about Dragunov is I know he's a baby face to us, and he's an amazing wrestler and whatever. But he also can be. Imagine using the H-bomb thing, the falling forearm, for evil. Like he just won't stop.
Yeah.
Like they can't pull him off of somebody. And he's just doing him from the top rope onto people. He's like, Cody Rhodes, bring me my title. Like, come on. Like that. Like,
really good Dragunov.
that would be, I mean, honestly, I would root for him. But he would be the most hated man among children in WWE.
Oh,
with the red contacts and the little goatee and the slicked back hair and the dramatic entrance. Oh man!
Even Dragunov versus Seth, man. There's some money up there.
There's a lot of things you could do with him as a heel because, as we've discussed many times over, they have all these amazingly over baby faces.
Yeah,
Drew
for the first time in forever.
Is a major deal. That's a good thing for them. Nakamura being positioned in a major feud with Cody. That's good for Nakamura. They should have an even number of super over heels and super over baby faces. And right now, I don't feel like the number is equal.
No, and part of that is because you said this a couple of weeks ago, and it's true, is Gunther, while a heel by booking, is not a WWE heel. He's an unbeatable champion who's booked against baby faces, who wrestles with some heelish tactics, but he has people in his stable and they're not interfering in his matches. He wins matches honorably. Like, he does not feel like dastardly heel. Ilya Dragunov could feel like not cheating still, but he could feel like dastardly heel and just how evil he is.
Like
there's a lot of fun
brutal.
To be had.
Like he won't stop hurting your favorite guys.
Yeah, that's a fun heel to have around, man.
This is, like it or not, this is a program where a lot of it is booked toward children and the parents of children.
Sure.
Having a guy who won't stop hurting the guys they love is a really great way to do a heel. You know what I mean?
And he's like a great guy to do that.
People always say, "Hey, Alex, would you ever like take a job working for WWE in the writing?" Like, no, no. Here's a job I would take if they hired me for it. Well, why is it not working? Here we go. Dragunov's Heyman.
Oh my God.
I would come out in the full suit. I wouldn't change the look. And you just called me Alexander Pavlov. And I would do the whole thing in Russian like Lana used to do it. I would do the whole thing in the Russian accent, I would put up. I would put him. I would put over everything. I would do that. I would like. Cool dude Rhodes. You and your capitalistic ways, like just do the lean into the whole old school Russian thing. Oh, it'd be great.
Know what I think would be if I could create a creative team that had you on it? You know how Bray Wyatt had Rob Fee that was just like his guy until he wasn't?
Yeah.
You would be so good as like you're assigned to this guy. Like we want this guy super protected. And this is who he's against. And we need you to just be focused on this guy. You would crush that. But anyway.
How about this? How about a League of Nations where everybody's not like Alberto Del Rio, but like Dragunov and Nakamura leading a League of Nations who just all they're going to do is topple Cody.
Oh my God, that would be
Mr.
so
America.
Fun.
Nakamura and man, if you could figure out a way to like make Dragunov and Imperium work together, that Dragunov, Gunther, Nakamura, Imperium, I don't know, throw another one in there. Bronson Reed, he's from Australia.
Hell yeah. He was a TMDKer.
Yeah.
Man, I would be down for this program just in general. Gunther likes Dragunov because he's the only guy that's like gotten him.
Yeah.
And he beats Dragunov. It's almost Blackpool Combat Clubby. Like you almost bleed together. But like I beat you, but I know what you're capable of, so I need you in my group is like a really fun thing.
Oh, you have no idea how unironically this is true whenever I watch Rocky IV. I want Drago to win every time, and he never does. He never does, though. Meet Norma says they treat Dijak like he's Jake Hager when he's so much better. He should be Seth Havey or something. He can go in the ring. He can go in the ring while putting over all these other people who have a higher ceiling immediately than Dijak does.
And that's the thing, because to me, it feels like their measure of who's over and what they consider a reward is screen time, not wins and losses, which is not how I think promotion should be booked. But I feel like their measure of success is how often we use you and put you on screen. And they do that a lot with Dijak. And the way he's presented, I think he does feel like a viable threat. I'm just someone, and I don't need him to win every blowoff they have.
Right.
He just should get one or two of them just to maintain that position. But I think the world of him. I do think that they like him and what he's doing, because I don't think he would be booked with people that they see so much potential in so often.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Aaron says, Alex, that Dreamwave show had tickets available for a good while. They didn't know anything about it, but then sold out real quick after Ali was announced.
Sure.
Yeah. Also sad I didn't snag a ticket. LOL. Everybody should be. I mean, that's the 40 miles from me, but it's not a long drive from Chicago. Like I'm as soon as he was announced, I'm sure those things went like, I just didn't know they were on sale yet because I hadn't heard about the show until Ali was announced for it, and I didn't see a link anywhere. Nobody showed me a link I could click on. If I had seen the link to click on, I would have clicked on it, but I didn't.
I'm so happy for that, dude.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Ugh.
So here's some horse puns.
Horse puns.
Luis Polito says, shout out to Tempest, the president of NJPW, Horseshoe Tanahashi.
He's going to be called President Bullocks until Wrestle Kingdom. That's happening.
Ian R says, Bronco Team 2000.
Well, first of all, thank you. And second of all, very nicely done.
Ian R says, Hombre Wyatt. Hey there, Hombre. I love the Hombre. Greg Cherry, again, with the send hoof. That is still the leader in the clubhouse, although I forget who said it the first time. It's such a great one. Enormous. The magnificent 7-star FTR. Billy the 1-2-3 kid. The man in the House of Black Hat.
Oh, very good. Double points if you can work it into Red Dead Redemption 2, because that's the one video game I know. Thank you.
Ricardo the Snowman from Ace Shock, Ember Moonshine.
Oh, very good. Very nicely done.
Meet Enormous says, new stable, the Young Bucks Guns. Young Bucks.
Nicely done.
ENR says, Bareback Saber Jr. We got that one. Silver Apocalypse says, Daniel Bryan Saloon.
Very good.
Will Posse Spray.
Will pasta spray?
Posse Spray.
Posse
Spray.
spray.
Becky Lynchmob. Yikes. Becky Lynchmob. Yikes. But also true to the era. John Wick says, Oba Fem Yeehaw. He also says that he reminds him of Marcus Corvon. I know that name, but it's been such a long time. I know that name, but it's been a long time. Ricardo the Snowman says, Brokeback Mustachio Mountain.
Very nice.
Not Mustache Mountain, but Mustachio.
Mustachio.
Oh, Marcus Corvon, Monty Brown. That's why I know it, because that's.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
There you go. That's great. Chris Pereira.
Chris Pereira is great at these.
Top 3. The Nation of Domination, but spelled Nation of Domination.
Nice.
Ricardo the Snowman says 310 to Yuma, spelling it Youma, and Meet Norma says 310 to Yuta. Wheeler Yuta.
Nice alley-oop on that one, fellas.
Instead of the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's the good, the bad, and the Ali from
Very
Meet
nice.
Norma's.
Very
That's
well
good.
done.
Matthew Hook says Cowboy Team 2000.
That's what's up.
And says NXT is a one-horse girl town.
True.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says chin up, tits out, and watch for the horseshoe.
Watch for the horseshoe.
Greg Cherry says Ember Saloon. And Ricardo the Snowman says Foal Henley.
Oh, very nice.
Foal Henley.
Do you think that Horse Lawyer is going to come in and either properly break up the stable or reunite them?
Yes. I think it's possible. Well, I think they also have to they have to make sure that in the breakup that everything they
everybody gets
entered
the
into
third of
everything they entered into the faction with is what they take with them, and then you split up everything that has been gained since the faction started.
That makes sense.
Standard agreement.
Sure.
Apparently they're okay. Let's see if I can. There is a in the Discord. I guess there is a year-end awards on the SGS Discord from MD Jingo Bello. Here's the link in the chat. So yeah, vote on that. So here we go. Only two, and that's it. We're done. 2 jukeboxes.
You're cut off.
Ludwig sings the American Males theme. Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right, here we go. American males, American males, American males, American males, American males, American males, American males. When you see them coming, you better run for cover. Girls, you don't need a weekend lover. American males. If they want to talk to you, you better not listen. You might wind up in the critical condition. American males. Thank you.
Very nice.
And finally. This is good. We'll do this now. It's because it will be New Year's Day before we get this show again. So
Oh
Ricky
my
Rainbow
gosh.
will sing New Year's Day by U2. I feel like I'm playing tennis. Like I've got a little visor
Ricky,
to keep
how
the
are
hair out on my
you?
forehead.
What? How was your Christmas?
Right. I'm all right. Oh, it's all right.
Did you get anything fun?
Mostly drugs.
Mostly drugs. Story tracks. Did you spend it with anybody special?
My drug dealer.
Oh, how sweet. I think that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you go to mass with your drug dealer?
No, he's Jewish actually. So
Gotcha. Okay. It was a working day for him. Got it.
My dealer's name is Greenberg. All is quiet on New Year's Day. A world in white gets underway. I want to be with you night and day. Nothing changes on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, I will be with you again. I will be with you again. Under a blood red sky, a crowd is gathered, black and white, arms entwined, the chosen few. The newspaper says, say it's true, and we can break through. Though torn in two, we can be one. I will begin again. I will begin again. Yeah, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, maybe the time is right. Oh, maybe tonight I will be with you again. I will be with you again. And so we're told this is the golden age, and gold is the reason for the wars we wage. Although I want to be with you night and day, nothing changes on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day. On New Year's Day. On New Year's Day. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Emily said Santa didn't bring a hairbrush. I see. And normally I would say you should fire back because that's pretty snarky. But based on your drug intake and the fact that she's going to be like the best nurse in the whole wide world, you probably want to stay on her good side.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't even know Allie was in Brazil, but apparently she is, and she loves you, and she's a huge fan.
She's in Brazil. Oh,
I didn't know that.
No, I've got a world tour planned.
You do?
Next summer 2024.
Oh, interesting.
We're going to be in Brazil. Mostly, it's just sampling the drugs of other countries.
Oh, are you going to do like a documentary or anything?
No, it's just drugs. Just doing drugs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Right.
Well, good luck on your world tour. Let us know the pre-sale link.
Oh, yeah, right. That. I will.
Please let us know when you're going to be at our locations because
we
don't know where you're based out of. So it's really anybody's guess.
No one knows where I'm based out of.
Do you know where you're based out of?
Sometimes, mostly no.
Why is that?
Because I'm an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a Negro wrapper, wrapped in a tortilla.
Love that for you.
Wrapped in a crepe.
Ooh, wrapped in a crepe. Delicious.
It's new. It's new for 2024. Now I'm wrapped in a crepe.
That was a cute little face you just made.
Right. Keep cool, gabagoos.
Dude,